Welcome everybody to Knox Makers Tuesday evening show and share, something we do every Tuesday so that our members and non-members alike can show projects that they are working on, projects that are finished, that maybe they've had a hiccup with and need some help. And we also invite failures so we can see what didn't work, and that's how we learn things. We are casting this out to the interwebs, so try to keep your presentation PG-13-ish or so. We've got a few, so try to keep it about 3 minutes, somewhere thereabouts. The room sound carries in here pretty good because of these walls, so when somebody's making their presentation, try to keep the chatter down. Because, believe it or not, everybody can hear it. So, without any further ado, let's get started with what's happening. Mark Best is going to give us an update on the plasma table. Does anybody know what plasma is? I don't. It's magic. He says it's magic. It's like lasers. Lasers are magic.
I don't think I could say it's an update. This is just what I'm doing for it. Billy is working the electronics, and Joe is working the table and such. And I'm trying to help. For those of you who don't know what the plasma table is, it's down the way. That's really descriptive. And it looks kind of like this. This was given to us by a company that was going out of business, so we got it, and supposedly it works the day before we picked it up or whatever, but it needed a lot of cleanup, which has already been done, and basically some shuffling around. This gantry slides back and forth, and there's another part that slides in the other direction, this way. Hopefully this is making sense. This part goes up and down. So I've pulled it apart, most of it, cleaned the bearings, swapped out bearings. This is somewhat problematic. Right here you have a drive motor that drives this system across that way. And there's a sprocket that comes down there that engages this gear, and it's freestanding. It's attached to a pulley and nothing else, so if you hit it this way, it just sort of bends. And that's a less than desirable setup. So Billy suggested we put some support in there. I put this all in CAD. So here is what that shaft looks like coming down, and there's no support for it. So I've designed two parts here, one that bolts in to this holding mechanism, and this one what is that, green, whatever, can be moved in and out so we can maintain a nice vertical stance on that drive shaft. And since I thought I might be doing this with a drill press, a bandsaw, and a hammer, I thought for the 5 holes I needed here, I would print a 3D part that would just snap on there that would give me the centers of those holes. And that part's here. So the idea is you just slide it on there and you have 5 holes, and this is where you need to put them. So you don't have to worry about measuring too much. It's all done for you. Then there's the torch. It should be in red, but apparently I'm out of ink in my printer. And this bracket here holds the torch. And that bracket looks kind of like this. And it comes from a 2 by 2 by 3 inch block of aluminum. And my approach was to drill a hole through the center first, and then slice it in half, so I have the 2 pieces I need, and put little spots here for neodymium magnets. The idea for that is that this would be attached to the trolley, and if for whatever reason the torch struck something, instead of breaking the torch, it would just pop off. the magnets would let you do that. So again, here are little detent balls. You may actually have some in your kitchen. They close, some cases they're used to close the door or hold the door closed on a cabinet. So that's what that looks like. And here is 4 pockets for those magnets. Here is the pockets for the plunger that holds the thing in a specific place. And 2 screws that are these screws that keep this thing together. And I did CAD for a living, so I've got drawings and everything. And Evan, who is here somewhere, right there, he said he is a bit of a machinist apparently. So we're going to collaborate, and he's going to tell me where I've screwed things up. I take no offense at that. So that's what I'm doing. And here's another part that has to be drilled. This is the block of aluminum that was going to go here. So I've 3D printed a part that this thing just sits nicely in, so you have all the hole locations. So you can come in and do a punch and say that's where it is versus having to measure it. Again, that's when I was thinking of using a drill press, a hammer, and a bandsaw. So with a machinist available, things will be better. Questions? Sir?
What's the maximum thickness you anticipate will be able to cut?
The plasma torch, I don't know, it's a large one. I have one at home and it can do 3/8 of an inch, so I'm assuming this can go 1/2 inch or better.
No, it's 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch or 1 inch, depending on the plasma can do a lot.
Yeah. But plasma, if you think of a machinist, you have a really nice clean face, like say this, and if you have a laser, you have a really nice face. If you have a bandsaw or a plasma, you don't have the aesthetic clean cut as you might have with like a laser or a machine. The machine is cutting it. Anything else? Oh, that was fast.
Good. So you did good. You did great.
Or nobody understood anything and they just want me to get out of the way.
No. That's not it at all.
Okay, next.
All right. All right. Oops, sorry. There you go, yeah. Mark, seriously, we do appreciate all the work you're putting into this. Some of the folks that were here this evening, I told them about our organization, that we're all volunteer, and it's all of us together that makes this place work, and we really appreciate your stepping up to help make this happen. And I appreciate everybody, actually. I mean, got some great folks here. All right, next, Ron Barnes, wood table and leather pieces, I think is what it says. Is that what that says?
Sure.
All right. Do it, Ron.
That's the table. I don't know if you can still see it very well. Bring it over here.
Yeah.
My widescreen camera's down at the moment also, so you have to, I can't really.
Is it okay if I take it?
Yeah, if it breaks.
No, I don't want that to happen.
I shouldn't. It's better.
Yeah, put it on this side, so.
I can't put it on screen right now, my widescreen's down.
That's
Oh.
So my name is Ron. I'm a probationary member, so I thought I should at least say hi and explain why I joined and what I'm trying to accomplish. So I started out as a woodworker and started putting leather panels into some of the wood. And I bought a leather sewing machine. Is any of that showing up at all? So I cut that out with a 3D the laser, and then I sewed it together. So got lots of pictures of different notebooks. It's hard to see, but that's a full notebook cover. That's a horse. My wife rides horses, so here's another one I've made.
Did you say you lasered that off?
Yeah, I can't cut stuff that clean. So I I put it into a laser and cut the shapes out. Let me declutter here too, maybe that'll help. My daughter's going to Clemson, my son's at UT, so that's why those are there. Go ahead with the heckling, that's fine.
And my daughter was in South Carolina.
Okay? Uh-oh, it's trouble. So, anyways, that's why I'm here. I'm hoping to learn how to use the laser and maybe some woodworking tools as well. Any questions at all on, oh wow, hi.
Yeah, as I look at your cover of your book folder right there, I can't help but think of the cover of the Book of the Dead on Evil Dead. You ever read one of those?
No, sir. In fact, I have some old Bibles, same kind of cover, very thick, deep grooves in the leather. This is, there's a piece of wood underneath that. This sticks up 3/8 of an inch. Hard to see on there, but afterwards, if you want to come and run your fingers across it, but yeah, this sticks up pretty good. It's actually, it's on wood. This is a wooden cover, thin piece of wood. Next question.
Yeah, what do you digital?
I have a Cobra Class 4. Does that mean anything to you? It can sew through 7/8 inch of leather. It's freaking amazing. It'll run your fingers right off in a heartbeat. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
What kind of decoration is that on your table? Can't really get a trade.
I'll take it up. I have a compass star on the top. And this is a thin veneer. Inlay, all inlay, yes, sir. Yeah, and then there's a north, south, east, and west that I cut with a laser. Now I have a number of these tables. I brought this one because it had a leather panel with a pattern embedded in it there, so it's hard to see in the dark.
Hold it back up again. Now I got my one.
Where am I aiming here?
You're good right there.
Should I smile?
Nice.
And I probably couldn't tell you. This, ironically, was made all out of scrap wood. So there's a chair in there, and all right, how much time do I have? So real quick, the way this all came about is we built our house, and I talked my wife's amazing, talked my wife into, we wanted a custom kitchen. I said, I can build it for half the price if you let me buy all the tools with it. She said yes. So I had all the, yeah. That's how I ended up, folks.
How long does it take to make that book cover?
I don't know.
Long time?
No,
No?
no, it takes longer in the computer to draw to get it right. Then you just go on the laser and it's done. When you run through the sewing machine, there's not that much stitching there.
Okay. Cool.
Just level my fingers.
All right. Thanks, Ron. Ron, thank you so much. Very, very nice work. Nice work. Tracy Baker, where's Tracy? There she is. Come on, Tracy has a metal fail. All right. I love the fails. We get to learn so many cool things.
Hi guys. This is terrifying, by the way, showing failures. Just cheer me on. Thanks. Okay, well, let me start with, some of you probably know that last Maker Market we had, Isaac asked if I would be willing to give some ideas for the redo for the Robot Wars trailer. So he sent me some pictures of what was done in the past, and so I just took those and drew over top of them because I thought, well, cool, let's see what I could do there. So there's my terrible attempt at measuring. But eventually I came up with, and I left him in there because he's adorable. So I just came up with what I thought would look pretty cool, and it worked out pretty well. The ideas. I did the chalkboard panels. I painted all the panels with chalkboard paint because I thought it would be really cool if all the Robot War competitors could, have the name of their beast on the side of the trailer, and I thought that was pretty cute. The tarp idea didn't work out tremendously well, but I gave it a try. It's just harder than you think when you have the supports. You'll notice are completely missing from my drawing. The supports that are required to keep that up. So it's those kind of structural issues that I am not gifted with. But it was super fun to just draw this idea up, and what I thought would be something like where the flamethrower is. We could do some kind of animal like we've attempted before. And that didn't work out too bad. It was good. And I did something that went over it. But let me just show you real quick. Let's see. How do we do this? Okay, so. Sorry. Okay, that's not working. Well, anyway, the point is, these are the things I'm really good at, is just drawing. Little pictures, and those are what I'm comfortable with. Doing stuff like that, ceramics that I throw outside when I'm bored with them, stuff like that. Those are the things I'm good at, taking pictures of, mushrooms. Those are the things I'm good at. What I'm not good at, what kind of makes me feel like a cat with tape on their toes, is metal. I thought I was intrigued by the whole idea of doing something in metal. I went to the thrift store, I picked out, this was a serving thing, and this was something along those lines. And I when I say metalwork, that's really generous. I didn't work with it a lot. I just basically brought things home that I liked the shape of, demanded that my husband make it work, put them together, and then my contribution to this particular piece was just to, wire things on it like computer parts and a big brass head and things that I thought would kind of just be okay. But I really didn't like it. I still don't like it, so I ripped it apart. And I thought, well, okay, I'll give this another try anyway. So I got some aluminum flashing, because I thought, well, maybe this will make me, more inspired if I try and make it like an Audrey, and put these around it, and it kind of had a more solid look to it when you look, and the flamethrower would stick out there. But honestly, the more I try and force myself to work with this metal, the worse it gets, and the more uninspired I get, the more frustrated I get. And I realized, it's okay that I don't like working with metal. It's all right. And so my invitation to anyone out there who wants to do something to go over the flamethrower, and you're welcome to use this, and make it better than I did, or make something completely new. Please feel free to do that for October. I just have to be honest with myself. I really hate working with metal. It just makes me feel icky. So, and I love Joe and I respect his talents. Apparently, I can't do everything I want to do. I can fail at a whole lot of things, and I think metal is one of those things. But I'm trying to be okay with it. So, but like I said, if anybody wants to step up and make something for the flamethrower, please do. There are a lot of great ideas out there. And somebody may even have the skill and patience to do it that I don't have. So, but that's it. Didn't anyone have any questions? Okay, thanks, guys. You know, that would be great. That's another thing I can't do, ask for help.
Thank you, Tracy. That takes some fortitude to say, I can't do this, I don't want to, I don't like it, I ain't going to. So I appreciate that, because there are things, yeah, we've all got those. Next, Evan Hill has a mountain bike. There he is.
Hello. I've come back. I think I was up here maybe a little bit ago, sharing my frame when I thought I was finished welding with it. It turned out to not be true because I mismeasured some things. So you can see this is the last tube I welded in, and I left my tire at home the day I did it and mismeasured. And you can kind of see just the little tire nub rubbing on there. So I spent some time like cold setting the frame, like just bending it. But this is chromoly, and it has like a pretty good memory. So you kind of have to go a little bit past, let it spring back, remeasure, and I got it better, but it was still rubbing. So I took the die grinder and the portable belt sander and ground it out, and then cut a piece of tube out and welded it in there. Made it kind of a half tube. But it worked out pretty well. I did a little test fit of stuff, found some other issues with my crank clearances. So you can see these nice dimples I had to put in because my cranks, when you're riding it, the wheel the back end has a little bit of flex, and so on a turn you'd kind of just hear this faintest little ding, ding, ding. And so I put it in a bench vise and, put a round piece of metal and just kind of crushed it. Did that on both sides, and seems to work now. I don't hear any metal clicking. But then I figured, I was like, oh, what's a bike frame without a water bottle mount? Doesn't feel complete. And originally I left those out because I'm really bad at welding them, and I don't know how to braze them in. So I was like, oh, I'll route my cables on top. I'll keep those cleaner. But now I wanted to add a water bottle mount, and my cables were in the way, so I came up with a bottle boss bridge. And this is a sheet metal. You can see the little paper one I sketched out, and then I made this sheet metal one and welded in some threaded inserts, and spent a lot of time. And then I looked at it, and I was like, no, this could be better probably. And it was like, I'm not going to weld this on at the very end. So I designed some and machined some. So these are kind of some blanks I machined out, and then I cut a big arc into them, and then I drilled and tapped them, and then mitered them with a big hole saw on the mill, so they fit nicely to the tube. And then after spending many hours machining the steel, I figured I'd reward myself with some nice aluminum cutting, and made this little fixture to weld them on, so they're actually like aligned and the right spacing, so I can attach a water bottle cage, and then welded those on. And then I spent a couple hours sanding this thing to get ready for paint. Did some primer, a couple coats of green, and then I actually used the vinyl cutter out there to make stencils in Inkscape. Hill. Yeah, my last name's Hill, so that's the moniker I went with for my frame there. But I've got one on the front, the Hill, and then some flowers on the rear and end of them. And anyway, so I did this, painted them, was great, but I didn't mask it very well, and so there's some overspray. So I figured I'd touch it up, but then it didn't dry the same. So I figured I'd like tape them off and repaint them, but I guess the same green is not the same green between spray paint cans. So then I had worse issues, and I was like, oh no. So yeah, you can kind of see the, it almost looked worse because now it's like straight lines, and it's like, oh, very super noticeable. So I made more. Luckily, the second time, I figured out transfer tape was a thing. The first time, I just had loose vinyl, which is really difficult to put on there with any kind of precision without it folding. But so the transfer tape was much better. I got them on a bit straighter. That's super dark, but repainted it and then threw all the components on. I threw the last parts on like maybe an hour ago and wrote it here. It worked pretty well. There's still a couple tune-up things, but couldn't help but detour into Fort Dickerson, take it on some trails, and felt pretty good. It's not the most nimble bike, but it definitely wants to go fast down hills, so that's pretty fun. But I think by the end, I put so many coats of paint that it's kind of super thick and kind of just wants to warp and peel off. So there's already quite a few paint imperfections, and I'm sure I put a couple more nicks in it on the way here, but I'll maybe strip it back and get it professionally powder coated this winter or something. But anyways, it's actually a rideable bike now, which is super exciting and very, just in time for some cooler weather. Yeah. Yeah.
How much does it weigh?
Oh, I don't know. I'm a bad judge. I don't know. It is steel, but it's pretty thin. I mean, this tube goes down to like half a millimeter thick in the center groups area. It doesn't have steel handlebars, so those are pretty heavy. But it's got a nice drop on it now. Oh yeah. Pretty fun.
How fast can you go?
It's one of those things that I kind of like, I feel like if it does break, it'll break in the rear end here.
Yeah.
This is why I'm expecting to see a weld crack at some point. Just because these are like 0.7 millimeters thick, welded to some pretty solid steel, so I wonder if some of the metal kind of got pulled away from there.
Would be a version 2.0.
Yeah, I think the next bike I make, it'll probably be like a commuter bike. I'm kind of, this is only second frame I made, so this one's fun, but I'm kind of at the point where I'd rather go try something new, and I want to learn how to braze, and so for water bottle bosses, and I really like the look of a lugged bike frame, and so maybe I'll.
How many hours you got it?
I made the design in last November. I think I cut the first two in February.
And you wrote it today?
I wrote it today, yeah. It was very, very rewarding. But I had a lot of free time in between February and now, so it's been a lot of like full days here working on stuff. And just a lot of waiting around for parts and waiting for paint to dry and whatnot. Yeah.
Terrific. Nice.
Yeah. If anyone wants to ride around the parking lot, you're more than welcome to. I promise the welds are pretty good. But I think you'd need a big oven for and I do not have that. And slash, I don't even think I could. I'd have to get it sandblasted anyways, and unfortunately it won't fit in the blast cabinet here. So I talked to. There's another bike builder in Knoxville, and I talked to her, and she gets hers done locally, and it seems like a pretty good deal. And I think powder coating would be a lot more durable than the spray can. So I'll probably still use the vinyl stencils, but I think I'll just not use the negative, and I'll just put the vinyl on there permanently, and then maybe clear coat over them or something. But we'll see. I'm gonna ride it for now, see if it lasts until winter, and then I'll repaint it at that point. But yeah, thank you all.
Very cool project. Who'd have thunk it? Somebody building a bicycle. Wes has a spiral-bound book.
Hello. So yeah, I've got a very simple project here that I did. I had this book that had been falling apart for a few months since I got it. The glue was coming off on it, and I wanted to be able to save it. And about, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago or something like that, I heard there was a spiral-bound machine that will help you with it, or help you kind of save the book. So I brought it in. There are actually two machines. There's a hand one where you can hand punch it. And then there's an automatic one for thicker pages, which this happens to be a little thicker, and it worked out nice. There's probably, I don't know, 100 pages in here or something like that. My trick to doing this here was to get a spiral bound, which they have in here. You know, they're all supplied for free. Get one that's much bigger than what you think it's going to be, because once you put everything on, it comes together. It's probably not going to fit. So luckily here with this one, it fit pretty well. So really simple project that I did, and it saved my book. So any questions? Oh, what's the book?
So the punch, there's an automatic?
Yeah, there's an automatic punch. It'll line it all up together and stuff, and it lines up really, really easy. If you have something and you're not really sure how it works, just let me know. I'm more than happy to show you how it works. Yes. Some of it is still actually in here. There are some pages where they're kind of in here, but yeah, I just kind of had to just rip it off from the glue and stuff like that. And every now and then there's a page that gets stuck, but I mean, that's kind of the nice part about being the old books. So cool. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Wes. And I learned about yet another tool we have that I didn't know we had. So, man, so many things. Last but not least, Mr. Laser himself, John Dale, is going to show us some laser cards.
Did you all know I like lasers? We heard that? We had a game not long ago, and Sean brought in a board game, and he made the board himself, and I thought it was really cool. And so I looked it up, and it was called Kill Dr. Lucky. It's a pretty fun game, but I was really interested in the fact that this guy who made this game in the 90s released like PDF files so you can make your own boards and stuff. And so I wanted to make my own boards. And I showed the board off previously, but I have a picture here. Let's see. Of the board that I made. Laser cut, of course. But for the cards that go with it, I just printed out on paper and played with them, and they were okay. I wanted to do better. Now that we have,
What material is that?
that's Baltic birch plywood. I've just stained the top layer for the walls, and then engraved the different rooms in there. It's kind of like a reverse Clue game or something, right? You're trying to kill the host instead of solve a murder, right? So yeah, so now that I have a fiber laser and I have metal cards, I wanted to make metal cards. And so we use Meerkat here to drive the fiber laser. And one of the features that it has, the other ones don't, is it's built from the ground up to be scriptable. So you can like write scripts to go through and do laser jobs, which was really handy in this because you get a PDF of all the cards, and so I wrote a script to bring all the cards out into each their own file, and then I wrote batch scripts to burn them out individually. And so this is kind of the setup that I had to do the cards. So I had a little jig started up so I could put 2 blanks on there, and then I could run my script to run to do 2 cards, and then it would pause and wait for me to put 2 more blanks in and put 2 more cards, and then it goes through, right? And so this was possible because it was scriptable. This is an example of a batch script that you can run in Meerkat. And so I'm not going to go through all this and what it is. If you're interested, talk to me. So basically, you load the ping file, and there's a ping file for each card, and then you just set the properties, the X, the Y, the width, and the height, DPI, and all that, and the operations, and then it'll run it. And so obviously, you can imagine in the 2-card situation, this would load 2 pings at a time, and then set the X and Y where they need to go, and then burn them there. And so this is an example. I don't know if you can see that, of it running. You can see the cards there. And that was great, except I would get distracted, and when it came time to change the cards, it would sit there a while, and I wouldn't notice that it was done. So I decided to add to my script a sound so that it would, that way I knew it was time to switch the cards. So yeah, there were 90, that turned out to be kind of a mistake because there's 96 cards, so I had to listen to that 48 times. It took up most of my evening, but I ended up making all the cards. So this is all the fronts. I haven't had time to do all the backs yet, but the backs are that, which is the logo of the game. You can see, right? And so you got the front of it, right? And then the back, and that's the pile. I think they turned out really nicely. I'll pass them around. These are those metal cards that we have in the laser store back there. They're a little heavy. They scratch a little bit, so I'm not sure how they'll hold up, and I don't know how you would. I don't know how you would shuffle them. You have to shuffle them like that, I guess. Yeah. But it took about 5 minutes and 50 seconds to do 2 cards, and so it took me hours to do the whole 96. But yeah, I'm really happy with them. They turned out really great on the laser. And so, any questions about that? Yeah.
Have you thought of cheating? You're cutting the back of the card.
You mean marking the cards? Yeah. No, I would never do that. Anybody want to play a game? Yeah. Any other questions? Okay.
All right. Thank you, John Dale. Super cool. Super cool. Okay, we have some classes coming up. Intro to TIG welding, August 14th. 3 tickets left there. Saturday the 17th, if you want to come and sew and talk and gossip and tell lies and have lots of fun in fabric arts, you can come to Stitching Bitch at 1 o'clock till 4 o'clock. We have embroidery, sold out. Moonraker, the big CO2 laser, has a class August 24th, plenty of tickets there. I Love My Fabric Party, no charge there. I guess you just come and party. Does anybody? Okay, folding and organizing fiber arts. And we'll be gossiping and lying as well at that. Okay. We have a board meeting. People are invited to attend the board meeting, which is online. That will happen on August the 25th. And tonight, after this meeting, will be a new members onboarding. That is a requirement for membership that you attend this and listen to Tracy imitate Isaac and John Dale imitate Tracy. Is that the way that works? Anyway, Isaac's not here, so that's why they're doing that. But that way you learn about our organization, how it works, why we do what we do, what makes us so terrific, et cetera, et cetera. We can't leave here without saying hello to Dodie. Hi, Dodie. And I think that, any other announcements? Do y'all have anything? Filters, yeah. Check out the AC filters. There's one just right outside this door and one right at the woodworking door. We need to get those changed. If I could get a volunteer to do that, that would be great. David will do that. Hey, David, and for somebody that's never done it before, let David teach you how, and you can do it next time. Okay, I think that's it. So thank everybody for being here. As usual, we had lots of fun and learned lots of things. So let's hit the shop and make some stuff and have a good time. Thank you.